I keep having to remind myself that I actually have this podcast for a reason. Some days I just want to rant on my IG or on my WhatsApp, and then I realize that I can actually have this conversation in front of you guys. So, Charlie Kirk. If you don't know who he is, then I'm happy for you. If you do, then you know that this guy got assassinated like a few days ago. And when I first heard about it, that this guy had been shot, I was indifferent. And then I had a slight boost of schadenfreude. If you don't know what schadenfreude is, schadenfreude by the definition, it's a German word that basically means pleasure at another person's misfortune. Am I happy about it? No, not really. But then again, that is how Charlie Kirk made me feel with his rhetoric. And that schadenfreude went away, and then I was like, damn, this guy just died. And then I went to Twitter, and then I started seeing a lot of both-sidedness. Some people just clowning him, and another set of people just making him into a martyr. And that just snapped something in my brain. I was like, nah, G, this guy was not a martyr. We need to push back on this narrative. And what surprised me the most was seeing Nigerians who live in Nigeria offer up prayers and condolences for this guy. And that's when I realized that the world is actually more global than I think. But I am not really truly realizing the scale of how global it is. And with how global the world is, rhetoric like what Charlie Kirk put into the world is even more dangerous than we realize. Charlie Kirk was a racist. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But apparently, with Nigerians, there is. And it baffles me. Like, I was just going through different things he said, and then in my head I'm like, this is racist. This is absolutely racist. But then Nigerians will comment that it's not really racist. He's just trying to tell the black community to step up. And even before I get into that, I was seeing like Nigerian celebrities who have never tweeted about Benue, who have never tweeted about Gaza, who have never tweeted about the shootings in America. None of that. All of them offering up prayers and condolences for this guy. And my immediate thought was that Nigerians will support a racist as long as that racist is also homophobic and hates transgenderism, according to Nigerians. This particular topic, I think I'll actually have to save it for another day if I ever cover it at all, because let me just leave that. But we hold on so adamantly to the quote-unquote Christian faith that absolutely nobody can do wrong once they wear the banner of Christ. And that is crap. Charlie Kirk was a racist. Just a few examples of things he said. He said that, if he sees a black pilot, he will wonder, I hope he's qualified. How is that not racist? I don't even know if the word racist is going to get demonetized on here, but how is that not racist? How is somebody denouncing your expertise based on your skin color not racist? The excuse people give is like, oh yeah, he's actually just talking about affirmative action and how people who are not really qualified get jobs and blah 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 blah. And that's why I'm saying that his rhetoric was so dangerous, because how are you as a black person in Nigeria saying that the qualifications of other black people outside are not real because you are sitting from here and a white man is just telling you rubbish? Do you know what it takes to be a pilot? Me, as I am now, I'm very intelligent. I cannot wake up tomorrow and go to an airport and say I'm a pilot now and just enter the plane and then they will just welcome me in. Oh yeah, we need a black person. So you don't know anything, no, but still come in. I can't do that. But for some reason, Charlie Kirk and people of his ilk have made people believe that that's what affirmative action is. Affirmative action was as a result of segregation. Schools were bringing in white people to educate them, and then the government, as part of the civil rights movement, held it down and said, you know what, since you people will not listen and bring in some black people to learn, we are going to enforce quotas. You have to bring in a number of people. And that's what they did, and that's what affirmative action is. But then you say, oh, racism is over, so any black person that enters in sort of DEI is a new racist dog whistle that they use to discredit the hard work of black people. There's no black person in a quote-unquote DEI position that does not have the resume to match that role. They won't give a black janitor a CEO role simply because that person is black. Use your brain. Like, you that is watching, use your brain and think. Do you think that in a capitalist country like America, they will forgo profit just to appease skin color? You don't think you still have to be qualified for the role before they will give you the role in roles that need to make money? Use your brain. Don't let people like Charlie Kirk twist your... And that's what annoys me, because I'm feeling like explaining racism to people who have never experienced racism is like explaining color to a person who has been blind all their life. How do you explain red to a blind person? You can't. But me, I have felt racism before. And the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk kept on using was rhetoric that I have seen and felt before. That man is a racist. Whether you sugarcoat it or not, that man was a racist. He said that, MLK was not a good person, and that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. How is that not racist? How? The Civil Rights Act that gave more freedom to black people, more rights to black people, that entire coding of law was wrong. Use your brain. One thing that I realized, and it kind of opened my eyes, was during the reign of Trump, I watched a lot of Christians, white Christians, that I was friends with, that I went to church with. They were very heavy on the Donald Trump train. And it bothered me because while Donald Trump was entertaining and is a funny guy, I saw the danger that he was going to cause. And he was saying rhetoric about people like me who was an immigrant at that point. That it bothered me that people who I thought were my friends were not standing up and saying, if Donald Trump gets in, his reign might directly affect my friend. And that's when I realized that white Christians are first of all white before they are Christian. And the moment you, as a Nigerian Christian, realize that, your eyes will open too. At least I hope it will. Charlie Kirk was a racist. Don't let anybody gaslight you into feeling like he wasn't. And he said so many crazy things. Things against women. There was one clip of him saying that, women and their goal to go to college is just to find a man to marry or something like that. Come on. And I need to caveat this by saying that all these things that he said did not mean that he deserved to die. He didn't. He didn't deserve to die. But what we are not going to do now is to paint him as some sort of saint. He wasn't. There was a rhetoric from the right that, the left has done this, the left has done this to us, the left has done this to us, the left has done this. They have caused Charlie Kirk to get killed. And I was really hoping that this person that shot Charlie Kirk was not a black person or an immigrant. And as luck will have it, a white-dominated field where there is no DEI, shout out to snipers. It was a white 22-year-old boy who had Republican parents that did this. White, 2-parent household. Now, I ask you, the rhetoric around black people being more violent, because there are so many single mothers in the black community, blah, 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 blah. Does it apply here? Are you going to apply that logic here? Yes or no? Chances are you won't, because you are being dishonest. I feel like a lot of things I've said on this particular video podcast will be grounds for YouTube not to push this video, but I am fed up. I'm irritated. Charlie Kirk was not a hero. He was a villain. And he did not deserve to die. But he does not deserve to be celebrated either. That needs to be clear. He said in his own words that empathy is a made-up term, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. I don't empathize for Charlie Kirk. I don't empathize with racists. I feel sorry for his children that he's not going to be there, and maybe he was just 31. Maybe he would have grown out of this. But the damage that he has done is permanent? I hope not. But it feels like it. So, however you feel about this situation, don't let anybody police how you feel. If you feel like you should celebrate this, celebrate in moderation. If you feel like you should mourn, mourn. But your feelings are valid. The truth is, when we put negative energy into the world, we should not be surprised when negative energy comes back. People keep saying that, oh, words are just words, words are just words. If I was arguing with my mother, and my mother says, oh, you're a useless boy, I wish I never gave birth to you. My mother will never say that, but those words condense into resentment. That's why I'm very careful when I pick my words to speak, because I know that once I release it into the world, to take it back will be an issue. And I try as much as possible when I am pushing narratives to push narratives with the truth. Charlie Kirk did not do that. He was a racist who used a lot of dog whistles to gaslight people into thinking that he was not racist, but everything he said was racist. Even the very last thing he was talking about mass shootings, and then he had to put an underlying caveat of, including gang violence, and then he got shot. That gang violence was, quote unquote, black people. Charlie Kirk was a racist. I don't care how many times I've said this on this podcast, because it's the fact, it's the truth. If you spend any amount of time, research. If you are a Nigerian Christian is watching this and you have made it all the way up here, fantastic for you. I need you to go and research this guy. I need you to go and research the origins of civil rights in America. I need you to go and look into slavery. It's not just the sugar-coated version that they give you and then they tell you, oh, please forget about it. It was so long ago. The effects of slavery are still very much in America. And there are still very much weapons used to oppress groups of people there. Don't let them gaslight you to thinking that, why don't these people just pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Don't let them do that to you. You have a brain. You're a black man with a brain, with an intelligent brain. Use it. Spend some time and research. Don't just listen to the garbage that white people throw at you. Listen. Learn. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I am exhausted. I'm surprised you even made it to the end of this video, because this is a heavy one, I guess. Thank you, and see you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.